We had to change it up a bit.
You don't get it. We're only changing the type of lyrics, not the type of music.
And I understand that, but I still feel that the mood of the music should match the feel of the lyrics.
Forget the music. That's not our problem. Our problem is the lyrics. That's what we have to change. If you can't get that straight, then don't even bother writing.
Fine.
No, not fine. You have to write this album.
Dex, I've wanted to say this for a very, very long time. You can kiss my pasty white ass. Crazy eye.
When Dov told me what happened, I could hardly believe it. He never stands up for himself. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that's probably why he always had his head put in the toilet at school.
A lot of it had to do with stress, I think. Guys are trying really hard to make a name for themselves, and when things start to get tense, issues definitely start to boil over.
Time was running out. They needed to have an album that was going to get them noticed. I had no idea how much longer they were planning on going, but frankly, I wasn't about to waste the rest of my time on them.
Soon after Dex and Dov's brotherly squabble, Dex began to write new material for the group's third album. An album that would hopefully make the public take notice.
My parents had a pretty decent-sized basement, and that's where they recorded the album. Actually, it's where they recorded all their albums. Guys really didn't have any money, so studio time wasn't really an option. The recording of the album was pretty rough. Their new sound wasn't anything really like their first two albums. It was really basically hard, pretty harsh lyrics over a light poppy sound. Think Pantera meets Britney Spears. Half the time the guys were at each other's throats, and near the end, Dex managed to damage his vocal cords, and I guess that's what you get from screaming all day.
On July 26, 1999, Three's new album, titled Lips at Assholes, was released. Instantly, a new single called Satan's Hellish Revenge was taken to Useless 91.1 with the hopes that a fresh sound would jumpstart a dead career.
Their new sound was horrific. Even a weak station like Useless 91.1 wouldn't even touch it. Dex, Dov, and Dud just couldn't accept the fact that no one really cared about them.
I knew this album had no real content. You can tell just by reading some of the song titles, for crying out loud. And really, the truth is that Dex, he just isn't a songwriter. He doesn't have that creative splash that is required. And he doesn't understand emotional content.
What can I say? The public just doesn't understand when good crap is there.
The album didn't even sell one copy. You know what pissed me off the most? Is that I wasted so much time on them. That's a part of my life that I'm never going to be able to get back.
I could have told my boys they couldn't make music. If they had come to me, I could have saved them a lot of heartache.
Definitely Lips and Assholes was a great album. Look at some of these songs on here. Piss the Fire Out, I Bloodied Your Nose, The Naughty Boy Needs the Naughty Girl. Come on, man. These are classics.
I still think that Dud should have wrote all the lyrics to the songs. They needed something special. And he's so in touch with his emotions and the emotions of others. For someone to write passionate material, they need to be passionate themselves. And deep down, that's Dud.
Ravine pretty much split after the third album tanked. She broke up with Dex and basically cut all ties with him. I think he was pretty hurt with it, but he would never admit it. The guy doesn't show emotional pain, I guess.
People think she dumped me, but it was the other way around. It was her choice to leave, maybe. It's her loss. I was getting bored with our relationship anyway. Nobody gets bored of the Dex. Nobody.
There wasn't any point in staying with Dex. I can't afford to associate with or date people who take away from my valuable time. For me to continue dating Dex, it would have had no real value. It basically would have been a stupid decision to stay.
Once again, times became harsh for the three brothers. Having accepted their singing career was over, Dex began to pound back the booze. Dud found himself the victim of a harsh mountain bike accident, and Dove, well, Dove is Dove.
The guys were really lost. I think the idea of having no real direction as to where to go really scared them. Some people, unfortunately, find hiding behind the bottle is the best thing, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't that worried.
I even tried to feed them ice cream to cheer them up. Every day, I would bring over a different flavor and serve them. They were really taking their failed career pretty hard.
You know, we were really feeling quite low. Nobody likes to realize that they've wasted a portion of their life. And the truth is when we got the call about Dad's accident, that didn't help us anymore. I clearly remember the time when the hospital called and I made a complete ass of myself. They called in and I answered the phone and they asked me, in what relation are you to Dud Grant? And trying to be my own funny self with my own keen sense of humor, I asked, it depends if he's dead or alive. Of course I was the only one laughing, but whatever. But it all worked out. He stayed in the hospital for a couple days, and then we brought him home, and we just healed him up at home. No big deal.
It was a pretty wicked accident, man. I mean, the semi didn't even know what hit it. I was crossing the intersection, truck had the right of way, and bastard clipped my back tire. I flew like 20 feet. I mean, it was alright though. The pavement kind of broke my fall.
I was terrified that this world was going to lose a great human being and never be the same. I couldn't imagine living in a world without Dud. Nothing else matters except for him.
Just seemed to be one blow after another for these guys. I mean, their singing career dies, Dex hits the booze, and then Dud almost gets himself killed. And of course, things didn't get any better when Dove and Sharina wanted to start a family.